Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In today's vlog, we're going to talk about planning a Disney trip for beginners. But first, if you're new here, my name is Lauren. I'm a full-time working mom who likes to save money because we like to travel. So let's start off with the basics. If you've never been there, there are four main parks at Disney World. There's Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. Magic Kingdom is the original iconic park with the iconic castle, Cinderella's castle, that's the original park. You have Epcot, which if you've ever seen the giant golf ball looking thing, that's actually a ride, and there you could go visit all of the countries around the world. And then you have Animal Kingdom, where it's pretty self-explanatory. It's all jungle animal themed. There is like a dinosaur land. And then lastly is Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios has a lot of movie themed rides. You also have the Toy Story Land and Star Wars Land. So obviously the first thing you want to do is start saving money. I have other videos that I can link down below where I talk about all the tips and tricks for saving money for Disney World and all the things that we do to save money for Disney World for our family. Now, you can either hire a great travel agent that can help plan everything for you, or you could easily do this by yourself. If you hire a travel agent, they do not cost any extra. I'm actually currently doing one, even though I have planned trips on my own before. And one great thing about planning a trip is you could book it about a year out and it only costs $200, and they will hold your spot, and the balance of your trip is not due until a month before you leave on your trip. So that gives you time to make payments. It's interest free. You just basically you pay your $200 to secure your spot, and then like I said, you could keep either you could make payments as you go, or you could keep that money in a separate savings account earning interest, and then wait until about a month before you have to go and then pay it off. And then also, if for some reason you need to cancel your trip, which we had to do actually during COVID, we knew we were going to go to Disney at some point, so I already had paid about $1,000 down toward my trip, and I just kept moving the date out, and that's totally fine as well. They will allow you to move the trip without any kind of fee. So before you pick your resort, you probably want to come up with an estimated budget. So for a family of 4, with hotel, taxes, airfare, and dining, you could probably estimate you're going to be spending about $5,000 to $7,000 easily, depending on a number of factors. If you do a lot of character dining, if you stay in a nicer resort, there are different tiers of the resorts at Disney. There's budget, moderate, and more exclusive hotels. So obviously one great way to save money while going to Disney is to not stay on property, to either stay in an Airbnb with a friend in an off-property hotel. But we're not really going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about staying on property and staying in that Disney bubble, because I think for a beginner, if your first trip, I just think there's so many positives for staying on property. So the first thing you want to do is get an estimate of your dates of when you think you might want to go. Either you have to go during your kids' spring break, their summer, if you have off, or you just want to pick a date that's Disney slow season where the crowds are going to be lower, you might find a better deal. You also might want to consider going during one of the festivals. So Epcot, where you have all the countries, they offer different festivals throughout the year. There's the Festival of the Arts, there is Flower and Garden, Food and Wine, there's Festival of the Holidays, And then you have to also think about throughout the year, Disney in general does have other special event parties like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, which we actually went to this past year. You could check, I'll leave a link in my comments for my review on that and some of the party footage. They also do a Christmas party, and there's also Run Disney. If you're an avid runner, they do, I think like they do a half marathon, a full marathon. They even have actually races for the kids. When we took my stepdaughter Jules, like close to 10 years ago now, I think it was about 7 years ago, she actually did a 1 mile race for kids. So I just think that's, it's great. So that's another thing you might want to consider when picking out your dates, if that's something you want to focus your trip around, or maybe you want to avoid it because you don't want to be around all that. So for the purpose of today's video, we're just going to focus on staying on property. There are over 25 on-property hotels that you could stay in at Disney World that provide excellent benefits and advantages, which I'll get into. There are also some what Disney calls good neighbor hotels that maybe they're not owned by Disney. However, they are in close proximity to Disney, and they also offer some of the great benefits. So you're going to want to decide, you're going to want to pick out your resort based on a few factors. Transportation is a biggie. So if you have older kids, it might not matter as much regarding transportation because older kids are probably easier to get in and out of the park, and they're totally okay with taking the bus back to the resort at the end of the night. If you have smaller kids, you might want to consider staying at resorts that are closer, like with transportation using a monorail. There's the Skyliner. Some resorts even have boats. So despite being a significant upcharge compared to some of the other off-property hotels, you could find yourself easily paying about 50% more in some cases than if you were to stay off-property. But I'm going to talk a little about why I prefer to stay on property. One of them is obviously the close proximity to the parks. Easy modes of transportation. You have the Skyliner, you have the monorail, you have a great bus system, and it's all included in the price. So you're not paying any additional fees. Technically, you could also drive there, leave your car, and you don't have to also rely on Disney transportation. You could easily stay, park there. There's free parking for Disney guests at all the parks. One of the biggest perks I find is that they do give you a 30 minutes extra for early entry if you're staying on property. So basically you're going to go do something what we call rope drop. You're going to leave the park really early, and you're going to get a chance to get in the park early. You could get those really nice pictures taken before all the crowds come in, and you could be first in line and have 30 minutes of extra ride time before the general public come in. So basically you could skip a lot of lines as long as you are a morning person, you get up early and just get down to the parks. Some select parks at some of the more pricey parks also even offer extended evening. We have not taken advantage of that before. With little ones, it is harder also, I feel, to stay a little bit later, but that is another perk for some of the hotels. You just have to look into which hotel you're staying at, and they will give you a breakdown on their website of which hotels offer morning and late evening extra magic hours. Another advantage about staying on property is that you can easily use your Magic Band to pay for everything, and that bill will get sent right to your room. So at the end of the trip, you have a tally of everything, so you're not constantly having to pull out your credit card. You can easily tap, and everything gets sent right to the room. Your Magic Band can also serve as your room key, so there's not a lot that you need to take with you to the park, especially if you're not driving, because basically all you need is your Magic Band or a card, and it will easily get you right in. That's one less thing you have to worry about bringing is an extra wallet or car keys or whatnot. So one thing you might want to look into is what's called a DVC. That stands for Disney Vacation Club. So we are not DVC members. However, there are websites that allow you to stay at DVC properties, and people, if they for whatever reason cannot go on their trip this year, they will list their shares, and then you could easily scroll through, and sometimes you could get a great deal that might save you money compared to if you would have just booked it right through Disney. So after you have your hotel, the next thing you want to do is you're going to pick how many days that you want to be in the park. If you're going for about a week, I suggest putting 1 or 2 off days, which we call it, where you're not going to the park, you're maybe taking a breather and just hanging out at the pool at your resort. This is great for kids if, everyone's getting a little burned out of waking up early. You're able to sleep in a little, go to the park, just relax like a normal vacation, because sometimes you come back from Disney and you feel like you need another vacation from Disney. So what our family likes to do is we like to go to the parks about the first 2 to 3 days, and then we'll schedule an off day, and then we'll do another couple days, and then maybe even throw in another park day. The next thing you want to do is you want to figure out which parks you want to go to which days. You're going to want to go on the My Disney Experience app, and you're going to want to secure reservations for which park. So let's say you wanted to go to Magic Kingdom on Monday, then Tuesday, Hollywood Studios. You need a park reservation. So just because you have bought tickets does not mean you could just show up at the gate, because they might not let you in if the park is overcrowded. So you definitely want to secure your reservation as soon as possible. There's a lot of times when the crowds are high that these do sell out. My friend went last year for spring break and she was not able to get in anywhere because there was no reservations available. They waited too long to book, so they ended up having to go to Universal. Then 60 days before your trip, you're going to want to get up at 5:45 Eastern time, even earlier, unfortunately, for Central and Standard Time, wherever you live, basically. So I live in New Jersey. That requires us getting up at 5:45. You want to get online, and you're going to want to snag those hard to get reservations because they go quick. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a video in the future about how to make dining reservations. So generally in our trips, me and my sister, my mom, everybody has gotten up early. We've, split whatever reservations and days, and we've each taken like a section of, okay, we're going to be responsible for trying to get this particular restaurant, or on these days. That's one strategy, is to split up between your group party, so that way everyone's trying to make reservations for the group, because some of the good reservations like Topolino's go very quickly. So you really want to be on your game and get ready for that. On this current trip that we're going to in June, I actually decided to use somebody I know who actually did our first daughter Scarlett's second birthday pictures. She is a travel agent, and it was so nice. We decided to use a travel agent for this trip just to make things easier. And, I reached out to her and I was like, are you sure you have this? Like, do you want me to get up and help split it? And she's like, oh, no, I have a strategy. So this time I was able to sleep in, and she was able to snag almost every reservation that we requested, which is awesome. So that could be easily a great advantage of using a travel agent instead of trying to book things yourself. You're just going to want to make sure that you use a travel agent that maybe is not just like a neighbor's friend or whatever. You're going to want to make sure that you have solid reviews from a great travel agent that knows exactly what they're doing, because that could easily cost you your experience at Disney. If something like character dining or even non-character dining, if there's hard to get reservations that you're really looking forward to, you're going to want to make sure that you get those to make your trip even more rewarding. So that's going to pretty much cover trying to plan a trip to Disney as a beginner. I didn't want to keep this video too long, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos, tutorials about while you're at the park, how to make ride reservations, how to use Genie Plus, and any other particular videos you might want to see in the future. If you stuck around this long, it means hopefully you like the content. I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. I'm a small channel, and every little like, comment, share, all the things really helps to help our channel grow. And that'll about do it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.